price hike disrupts livelihoods. And of course, you may also want to read this up. Stephen Akintayo rewards staff, and of course, inside story of Nasarawa oil discovery. All of that are coming from the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning.
From the Premium Times, you find 1 dead, many rescued as building collapses in Abuja. Will expose Aso Villa cabal working against Tinubu, El-Rufai. Lai Mohammed clarifies statement on Tinubu, says Buhari fully in support of APC candidate. Interview, why Akpabio will lose Akwa Ibom senatorial election. Council chairperson. 2023 step down as Atiku's running mate Edwin Clark tells Okowa. Fuel scarcity not planned to sabotage election. NNPC. How Jandor, Rose Vivor Doherty fared at Lagos governorship debate. Apprentice kills master, dumps body in well in Ondo. Nigeria is suffering from failure of leadership. At PT Space, expert says men can also have breast cancer. And 2023 as well, don't vote candidate who will open land borders. Tinubu campaign tells farmers. Still on the Premium Times, Tinubu arrives Osun for APC campaign rally. And one more story, and we move to another paper. CBN, police, other agencies to prosecute sellers, abusers of Naira.
All right, now to the Guardian newspaper. CSOs picket offices as banks beam searchlights on branch managers. And the story says, as Nigerians marks a week of anguish and frustration over Naira swap policy, the Central Bank of Nigeria has placed cash operations of banks on strict monitoring as concerns over handling of new Naira notes disbursed to the lenders. And more of the headline says, Afenifere Middlebelt Forum Pandef Ohaneze Unite Back Peter Obi. And more of the story said, in Oshogbo, Tinubu insists he helped Buhari to power and will succeed him. INEC insists elections will not be postponed. No seat at home on election day, says IPOB. And of course, more of the stories here says, USAID breakthrough recommends insecticide treated net for malaria. And the last one here says, Midwestern Oil says no plans to stop medical interventions in Delta communities.
To the Daily Post 2023, Wike ordered his loyalists, aides, Rivers local government chairman to support Tinubu. Away from that, Naira scarcity, POS operators stop work in Kogi. 2023, Buhari was shocked when Lawan was named APC's anointed candidate, El-Rufai. 2023, don't use MC Oluomo to distribute Lagos election materials, Atiku warns INEC. Accept Labour Party candidates in 24 states, court tells INEC. CBN orders banks to begin over-counter payment of new notes. And more from the Daily Post this morning. NLC settles for consensus candidate as Waba bows out as president. And finally, Gwarimpa building collapse, another fatality recorded as search continues.
To this day newspaper this morning, NNPC lingering fuel scarcity, no deliberate attempt to influence control elections. And of course, more story here also says 2 dead, scores trapped as commercial complex collapses in Abuja. Buhari congratulates one of the national TV station in Nigeria at 10th anniversary. And more of the headline says federal government, they will sign deal for maintenance of Kaduna refineries for $740 million. All right, more of the headlines. It also says Constitution review, NILDS urges Oyo Sekoto 7 orders to vote for local government autonomy. And some of the latest news here also says El-Rufai insists forces in Villa working against APC Tinubu's poll victory. And of course, let's also see if we have more headlines here coming on the front page of this day newspaper up for review this morning. All right, that's about it coming from the This Day newspaper this morning.
And on the Daily Trust, before we go on our first commercial break, vote for your conscience for peace, Sultan Khan president. Court orders INEC to accept Labour Party's candidate in 24 states. 522,000 PVCs uncollected in Edo. INEC will ensure all those trapped in collapsed building are rescued, FCT Police Commissioner. Many trapped as building collapses in Abuja. Kwakwanso, poor Nigerians being punished. No bank would deny presidential candidates money. CBN issues fresh directive to banks on new Naira notes. And finally, on the Daily Post, this Daily Trust, I beg your pardon, this morning, Agents versus tenants, where to draw the line. We go on our first commercial break and we'll be back with the analysis. Stay tuned, 32 FM 94.9.
FM 94.9. My guy, waiting the path now. Oh, my shit, don't see the result. Guy, no be smart thing, no, but trust you, Nana. One parallel. How you doing now? Fine, I be fine. No, so say small house party go in place tomorrow. Jubo Kese go expect you for a year tomorrow.
What time?
6 p.m. sharp.
Why you dey rush talk now?
See, my credit goes finish. My credit goes finish.
For this glue economy, now your credit dey finish.
I beg, send me another thing.
Gas speedometer. No need to rush your call. Buy Glow SIM, and when you submit your NIN, then go first sama you up to free 20,000 naira for voice and data. And when you can't even subscribe to Glow, 11 kobo per second. Now to the make calls for as low as 11 kobo per second to all networks. It dey available to new and existing subscribers. Terms and conditions they shall.
Glow Unlimited.
I go follow the man ways, I be the road, oh. I go follow the man ways, I be the walk, oh. I go follow the man way, go unite the people. Unify, I go follow the man way, go rescue the nation. I go vote Atiku, Mr. Unifier. I don't articulate, oh, articulate, oh. I don't articulate, oh, articulate, oh. I don't articulate, oh.
PDP Presidential Campaign Council sponsored this message.
Do you know the deadline for PVC collection is a few days away? Get your PVC today and exercise your civic rights. This message is powered by 32 FM.
Showmax and Jara Air, it's given. You can get 2 months for the price of one. Oh, whoa, it's given. It's given Real Housewife and Flossom Marathon with that bling bling and shakara.
Money is never in short supply.
It's given Big Brother Titanships, passports, and binge watching vibes. It's given what's supposed to be given and overdose. Oh yeah, subscribe now to get 2 months from 1,200 naira for a limited time only on Showmax. It's given Showmax. Sign up at showmax.com.
láti ìlọ mẹ́ka lálọ́dẹ you fit fly ní kẹjá lọ.
asalaamu alaikum gbogbo mùsùlùmí ilẹ̀kùn hajj 2023 ti ṣí sílẹ̀ fún gbogbo ẹni tó fẹ́ bá wa ṣèrìn àjò lọ́dún yìí iléeṣẹ́ alálùbáríkà you fit fly ní pé gbogbo wa o. hajj ìtọ́dún ní yàtọ̀ kọjá àtàtẹ̀yìnwá ṣe ti wá mọ̀ pé àtètè sùn ní àtètè jí ọ̀pọ̀ ti ń fowókọ́lẹ̀ níléeṣẹ́ you fit fly ẹ̀yin náà tètè bá bọ̀ wá fowókọ́lẹ̀ fún hajj 2023 tí ó wáyé láàrin ọjọ́ kẹẹ̀ẹ́dógún oṣù kẹfà sọ́jọ́ keje oṣù keje ọdún 2023 pẹ̀lú ọ̀pọ̀ ètò tó mú ìgbádùn rẹpẹtẹ dání ilégbé ìrọ̀rùn tí ò jìnnà sí haram àti mọ́sálásí ànábì Mádínà síyára ọ̀fẹ́ lójoojúmọ́ oúnjẹ àjẹdọ́wẹ́kẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́ta lójúmọ́ tó fi mú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ètò tí ó mú ká ẹ ṣe àṣepé hajj tọdún ní a jẹ́ pé a máa ń fa àkókò ṣòfò mọ́ ẹ wá darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn hujjaj lọ́fíìsì you fit fly tó wà ní success house 7up road olúyọlé main estate ring road ìbàdàn tàbí kẹ́ ẹ pè 0703 711 7801 hajj 2023 pẹ̀lú you fit fly inshallah àjọ lọ ni.
When something correct go show, we go see am well well. Color correct. Now we time to choose wetin correct for Naija. Color correct. Light wey no get head, e correct. Nah, e no correct. All the promise and fail, e correct. Nah, e no correct. Stable power supply. Correct. PRP and color. For the correct. Correct for the people. With BRP party with the golden key. Correct. Correct for the people.
Vote the correct team of Kola Abiola and Haro Zago for president and vice president.
PRP victory.
32 FM 94.9.
All right, you're welcome back. You're still on to Break of Dawn Papers Review here on 32 FM 94.9. My name is Gbolabo. famous school.
And I am Adenike Ademuwagun. Professor Olu Ojedokun joins us this morning. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning, Prof.
Well, top of the day to you, and of course, a pleasure as always.
All right. I think we should start with the legal tender, and it's a major one in all the papers this morning. But what I'm really perturbed about is the issue of this deadline. Now, there appears to be a conflicting interest between the National Assembly and what the federal government is saying. Now, the National Assembly, as a matter of fact, is saying 31st of July, but the federal government is saying February the 10th. Nigerians are running under chaos. No money, they are cash trapped. People are angry. The frustration is on the streets. Now, would we say that we don't have a kind of structure that understands each other in terms of checks and balances and also feeling the pulse of the people here?
Well, let's be very clear that the National Assembly has no power and has no authority to extend anything. The resolution is a resolution, and that's what it is. The people who have the power under Section 20, Section 22 of the CBN Act is the governor of the central bank. He's the one that can extend, and he's the one that can decide whether money is a legal tender or not. Of course, he consults with the president. So as far as the National Assembly is concerned, the House of Reps, they're playing to the gallery. As far as the CBN is concerned, even CBN hasn't got it completely right. Because yes, they can change the legal tender, but they cannot refuse people who come to return the money. You understand? That is no more the legal tender. They can't, it's not supposed to be time defined, and yet they put a time to it. But I think the other thing about it is that the CBN has misjudged the network facilities that exist in this country. A lot of people have their money hanging. Commerce is affected. People are suffering. People are groaning. This morning, as we're coming into the studio, as early as 6 o'clock, people were already gathered around POS. What do they call them? ATM machines. That's what we call them, isn't it? ATMs. Looking for money. And people are spending a lot of their productive time just looking for scarce naira. You understand? In fact, naira now, people are saying naira is exchanging for, it used to be naira exchanging for pounds and dollars. Now it's exchanging for naira, the old exchanging for the new at a very alarming rate. So yes, somebody hasn't felt the pulse. Somebody hasn't really thought this through. And of course, it shows you that the people running our monetary policy have much more to learn.
I mean, the federal government said yesterday that temporal hardship necessary for economy. The federal government said the harsh realities faced by citizens due to the introduction of the new Naira notes by the central bank is a necessary price for the long-term health of the economy. Now, would we say that the policy is not good, or we would say that the implementation is not good? Because the people haven't exactly had time to breathe because everything is happening concurrently.
Yes. Well, the policy is quite dodgy. Sorry. The policy is good, but the implementation is quite dodgy. But also the timing is ominous. And why do I say that? Because you mentioned it. We have the petrol scarcity at the same time. So when you conflict the two together, bring the two together, then what you get is a mega crisis brewing. Let me tell you what it is. I think, you understand, at the end of the day, a cashless policy is good for Nigeria. But I tell you that we don't have the network. We don't have it. So you introduce a policy that you're not really prepared for. Why is it that many POSs are not working? ATMs sometimes don't work, and then you do transfers. I have money hanging, you understand, from about 2-3 banks already. You understand, from that point of view. This is money I could have used to productive use. Maybe if I was a businessman, use it to pay my workers and so on and so forth. I have staff that I pay, and I had to delay paying staff because of all this, network, ula bula, whatever you call it. So at the end of the day, good policy, but we are not prepared.
Would we say that the CBN isn't trying in terms of trying to mitigate the effect of all of this? Because, for instance, they have threatened to prosecute the people that are selling the Naira notes. Yes. They've also ordered that it should be over-the-counter payments should start to happen. Yes. We should not also, as we hit them, we should also rob. What's that Yoruba saying?
I know you don't want to throw away the baby with the bathwater. I know you don't want to do that, but one would have thought that they would have thought this through. Once we are bringing the policies, how do we implement it? How do we ensure that the banks do not hoard cash? What do we do? What do we have in place? Sorry about that. It seems as if we are thinking about it as we go. You understand? You're making up the policy as you go. And that's part of the problem. You shouldn't be knee-jerk. You should already have these mitigating factors in place. And that's where I quarrel with them. But having said that, CBN is trying its damnedest best now to ensure that people are prosecuted and that those selling nairas for Marys and Jollies, you understand, are catered for. The last policy, we didn't have POSs. When we changed naira the last time.
Yeah.
Now, they didn't factor the fact that we have POSs. And a lot of these POS people, you understand, will come to play when there's a scarcity. And when the scarcity is extreme, they will make money from it. And a lot of these bankers have POS machines, you understand, have POS businesses. And I don't think the central bank took that into account.
All right, let's look at what El-Rufai has been saying. He appears to be talking so much when you talk about the villa cabals. Now, what do we make out of El-Rufai's outbursts? Because obviously it appears that he has a lot to say and he has a lot of secrets to actually spill over. But now he's saying he's daring whoever that is among the villa cabals to come challenge him if they have facts against what he said. Now, what is the point the APC is trying to tell many Nigerians there? Because obviously Nigerians are very disappointed looking at the economic realities as at this morning few queues were already out there because of the regulated price. Many people can't even sleep on their beds because they want to get their tanks filled up. Now, how do we address this, especially coming from the APC and what El-Rufai has been saying so far?
Well, it appears that the APC is washing their dirty linen. Somebody said by the roadside, an analyst said that yesterday. It's for all to see. And you would have expected that some of these arguments, and there are also always internal arguments in political parties, where you have people gathered together, there will always be disagreements, and you would have thought they would have resolved it internally rather. As to cabal or no cabal, there was a time when some of us thought that El-Rufai was also part of the cabal.
Right.
But El-Rufai hasn't always been a supporter of Asiwaju. He said some things in the past. But what is quite clear is that no government has faced an election before. And you've had a twin problem of currency crisis and the petroleum. And some people are saying it's self-inflicted. Some people even suggest that it is deliberate and that they are putting this in place to frustrate a particular presidential candidate who we know, Asiwaju Tinubu, because he belongs to the APC. And some other people will say, well, they're all the same thing. It's APC, it's APC. Some people are being clever by half by saying, no, Asiwaju is different from APC and so on and so forth. But I think that sabotage is in play here. There's some of us, or some people who say, yeah, let there be sabotage. But the reality is that the sabotage affects us. It affects the masses. If it was sabotage that just affected the politicians, maybe we wouldn't care that much. But it affects you, it affects me. And that's where the problem is. So washing their dirty linen in public, I don't know what they hope to achieve because nobody votes for a disunited party.
One would think that the APC is the only presidential would I say party, or would I say presidential campaigning party, because the LP is there, the NNPP is there as well. Anyway, moving on from that, there was a survey conducted from the Daily Post. This headline says, most Nigerians don't trust INEC on free, fair election. A survey was carried out by Afrobarometer, and a significant number of Nigerians were, would I say, asked this question. Apparently, only 23% of Nigerians trust INEC, and more than 78% express no trust in the election management body.
Well, I'm not surprised. I think that poll was taken before the Osun election. But we were told that BVAS was the magic bullet. Electronic transmission of results will be end all rigging, you understand? It will be the game changer. And we hear from the Osun election that there was overvoting. So, of course, that brings a breach of trust. But I also think there's a carryover. There are many people who will suggest that the 2019 election, there were some questions about it. And that's why it's residual. But having said that, I think, in my view, that INEC has been doing a creditable job. From that point of view, it's not easy to manage an election where you have a population of over 200 million. So they're trying their best with the resources that they've got. But they still have a lot of work to do in terms of building credibility. They need to be able to address us as to how the Osun debacle will not occur again in the general election.
All right, Prof, I wanted you to quickly also look at this IPOB pledges that it will not disrupt the 2023 elections itself. Is it something the Southeasterners could actually say they can heave a sigh of relief after all?
Yes, and I think it's welcome news because we want an election where everybody participate. Everybody that has a PVC participates.
Can we trust them? The question is, can we trust those people?
Well, the problem with IPOB is that they have what you call the unknown gunmen. And not all of them are necessarily IPOB members. So the unknown gunmen, are they really IPOB? Or are they all these underground fourth estate. I don't know what you call them. But sometimes you have this sinister plots where some people say some renegade security forces are the ones actually involved. I'm not saying that's the case, but some people suggest. So yes, IPOP says they will allow the elections to go on. Both of the other people that are carrying guns around the southeast. But I think it's a welcome development. At least we can be rest assured that more people will be allowed to vote rather than less. Because, recently, was the day before yesterday, INEC office was burnt in Anambra State. And that's been a feature that has occurred over a period of time. And the fear of people was that the southeast would not be allowed to vote. And then others in their own strongholds would be allowed to vote. And therefore, elections would be won by default.
Speaking of carrying guns, there was a headline that was on yesterday about a story. A terrorist, Kachala Baleri, has said that his gang has purchased weapons with new notes. Baleri is one of the most wanted terrorist leaders, terrorizing some areas of Zamfara, Katsina and Kaduna states and some part of Niger Republic. He was shown in a video flaunting the newly redesigned Naira notes. I don't know if you saw this video yesterday.
Yeah, well, I didn't see it, but I think that's worrying. Yeah, I saw it. Yes, I saw it. I think it's particularly worrying because one of the reasons why we got rid of the old notes was to stem criminality. And one of the reasons why we brought the cashless policy, the policy that you can only withdraw 20,000 a day and so on and so forth, was also to be able to monitor, to track, you understand, what people are doing with money laundering, kidnapping, ransoming and so on. But to find out that it's actually acquired this booty, you must raise questions as to whether the policy is going to work and whether it's going to deter criminals from that point of view. But I think it will work. But in some instances, there's going to be collusion between some people and these unscrupulous elements. And I think we have to watch them carefully. The security forces have their work caught out, and they must do their work to ensure that this policy works and that criminality is stemmed out. I think it makes their job easier, not less onerous, but certainly easier to track these criminals.
All right, some of the statistics here on Nigeria's food production is very alarming, and it is too good to be true. If you look at the statistics this morning, this is saying 39.6% in recent years that we've grown from 26 billion pounds in 2016 to 36.3 billion pounds in 2020, and is expected to rise by 48% between 2021 and 2024 from 42.3 billion pounds to 62.6 billion pounds. And here the crux of the issue is that our food production has increased in Nigeria. Now, would we now say that there are some people holding this food? Why is it that many Nigerians are still hungry and we still maintain the statistics of world over as the hunger capital of the world and outshining India in that aspect? Now, if you look at the statistics coming from the agro-food, is it something to rely on?
Well, first and foremost, I don't know, because when you go to the market, things always seem to be more expensive. So I don't know where this increase is coming from. But having said that, the population of Nigeria also continues to increase at an alarming rate. So therefore, some could argue that we're also consuming more. And because we're consuming more, then the actual impact of the increase may not be felt. That might be a plausible argument. But the reality of it is that not many of us feel this impact, because we also have food insecurity that has been going on. So whether this is an inaccurate report or whether it's a report that hasn't taken into account many factors is another matter. Or is it a report that suggests that most of our food is being exported abroad? That would be also another factor to consider. But if that is true, then the question will be, is logistics to play? Do we have a logistical problem getting food to where it needs to get to? There's a time when onions became very, very expensive. And the reason why it became expensive was part of it was logistics, moving it from A to B and to C. But some of them, produce were actually ravaged by flood and all sorts. So this is a very interesting report to look at in depth and to actually find out what's going on, because it's still not clear.
This is a story that we must touch. Scores trapped as three-story building collapsed in Abuja. Police, others begin rescue effort. Unspecified number of persons have been trapped in a three-story building under construction in the Gwarimpa area of Lagos.
Oh, in Lagos.
In Abuja, I beg your pardon.
No, that's why I was a bit confused. It's not surprising that Lagos was mentioned, because in the past, Lagos has had this brunt of collapsed buildings.
We're not a country that has natural disasters.
No,
but
really.
At the same time, it feels like our natural disaster is induced.
Self-inflicted.
Yes, self-inflicted.
As you said. Obviously, it's 3 stories, not that grand in the scheme of things. So it's obvious that there was some defect, and it's obvious that something went wrong with the construction. Our hearts and our prayers, of course, must go to those that are trapped, hoping that they will be rescued. But I think more fundamentally, we have to be able to investigate to find out what were the reasons. Is it a system error? Is it human error? Is it structural error? What exactly is going on, from that point of view? Because we can't have buildings collapsing willy-nilly. We don't get that in many other countries. We even get that in Ghana. Sometimes people won't use substandard materials, substandard cement, and so on and so forth, and cutting corners. We must learn that when we cut corners, the chickens will come home to roost. And I think the chickens have come home to roost here. I'm saying it. I don't really know, you understand, whether it was sabotage or anything, but it appears the chickens have come home to roost here.
Do you remember the over 20, would I say maybe not over, 20-story building in Lagos that collapsed a while ago?
Yes.
And till today, I don't think we've heard anything concerning that again. It feels like this is the order of the day. No, the investigation, we do not know how far it's gone. We do not know what's happening. So do we continue like this?
No, we shouldn't. I think there was an inquest there, and I think there was some report, but I'm not sure it's been acted upon. Surely such things should be given the widest publicity possible so that people can learn from it. And the problem we have is that sometimes it's not as if these reports don't go on. It's not as if investigations don't occur, but sometimes they're buried, and they're buried under piles of newspaper. Some people will say they're buried under the carpet. We need to give these things oxygen of publicity so that unscrupulous people are exposed, we know about it, we can learn the lessons, and we can have a more sane society.
All right, we have to go on another commercial break. When we come back, we'll take your reactions. Stay tuned.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM, 94.9, the antidote to depression.
Why, Wura? Always Wura. Why does her quest to save her gold and business leave us hungry, unemployed, and broken? Why?
Don't miss the new drama series, Wura, where everything is fair game. Watch as Wura does whatever it takes to own it all. Only on Showmax. Sign up now at showmax.com.
It's time to enjoy fast and reliable internet connection for less.
It's time to go big in the INT'L Home Broadband All-Time Mega Offer.
It's time to take advantage in the INT'L Home Broadband All-Time Mega Offer. Get a MiFi with up to 125 gigabyte bonus data for just 5,000 naira, or a router with up to 240 gigabyte bonus data for just 10,000 naira. Visit any INT'L shop or www.airtel.com.ng/HBB now.
INT'L, the smartphone network.
Kò síṣẹ́ kò sówó, ebi ń pa mí, àìsí ìdáàbò, ìjìyà ojúmọ́, náírà kí ló dé? Àsìkò ìràpadà Nàìjíríà dé. Bóyá PDP, òkùnkùn dí mọ́lẹ̀, ìjẹ Gàrímù, PDP, iṣẹ́ rẹpẹtẹ, PDP,
Ìkéde yìí wá láti ọ̀dọ̀ PDP Presidential Campaign Council.
Our vote is our most non-violent tool. Use it. This message is sponsored by 32 FM 94.9.
My guy, waiting the path now. Almost she don't see the result. Guy, no be small thing, no, but trust you, Nana. One parallel. How you doing now? Fine, I be fine. Now, so small house party go in place tomorrow. Jubo, say go expect you for here tomorrow.
What time?
6 p.m. sharp.
Why you dey rush talk now?
See, my credit goes finish. My credit goes finish.
For this new economy, now your credit dey finish.
I beg, send me another thing.
Gas speedometer. No need to rush your call. Buy Glo SIM, and when you submit your NIN, then go first sama you up to free 20,000 naira for voice and data. And when you can't even subscribe to Glo, 11 kobo per second. Now to the make calls for as low as 11 kobo per second to all networks. It is available to new and existing subscribers. Terms and conditions they shall.
Glo Unlimited.
Showmax Max and Jara Air, it's given. You can get 2 months for the price of one. Oh, whoa, it's given. It's given Real Housewife and Flossom Marathon with that bling bling and shakara.
Money is never in short supply.
It's given Big Brother Titanships, passports, and binge watching vibes. It's given what's supposed to be given and overdose. Oh yeah, subscribe now to get 2 months from 1,200 naira for a limited time only on Showmax. It's given Showmax. Sign up at showmax.com.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
And we're back with you, 0705 500949 and 0809 7949. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay. Hello, good morning. Okay, you have to call us back. 0705 500949. We're also live on Facebook, facebook.com/32FM949 Ibadan. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Olu from LA. Good morning, Professor.
Oh, good morning.
Yeah. You see this issue of money, oil, and the Rufai outpost. If you connect it with what Tinubu said at Ademuwagun, you begin to see the true picture of what is happening. Now, some people are asking, why is Tinubu making noise? Is he the only one? Tinubu must be the one to make the noise. Why? APC is a political party that is a platform. When Buhari was contesting for the second time in 2019, we all see how they begin to distribute what they call the traders' money. If Buhari is to contest in this election, will he have introduced this policy now? So, you see, people should understand what is happening. Now you hear Mama Daura saying, I think we're on the right side of history. This is beyond politics of I want to win election. It is an agenda of some people trying to enslave others, and we must get that right. Good morning.
All right. Thank you so much. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Gbolabo, Adenike, and Professor.
Good morning. Good morning.
Ishola calling from Lagos.
Please go on.
You see, we really deserve the leadership we are getting, because when the reflection of the followership, a clueless person is making policy for you, and you say it is a good policy. Can there be any good policy from a clueless person? You see, this Naira redesign, it may be good, but in the real sense, in Nigeria, it is not a good policy. This same Naira note was seen in a viral video with the presidential candidate in the north when he was dishing it out from the Ghana Moscow. It was seen in the viral video when people were spraying it. It was seen with a terrorist. At the end, nothing will come out of this policy. It is the only poor masses that will suffer, and people are saying it is a good policy. Can there be a good policy from a clueless person? Thank you, and have a nice day.
All right. Do you want to react to that, or should take more calls?
No, yes, there could be a good policy from a clueless person, but the implementation would then be the issue.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Ginga Mario, calling from Apata. Now, there's nothing that is working. There's no system in Nigeria that is working today. Now, look, is it light? Is it fuel? Even your hard-earned money that you put in the bank, to get it now is a crisis. The economy is zero. Even there's insecurity. Look at the man in Zamfara that said that brandishing that he got the new money note to get himself a sophisticated weapon. Who does that in which country? There's a man that sings a song that said, I'm not my boy. Let Christ come. He's written to the whole world. Let him come and pack everybody and put an end to this menace. You are sick and tired of complaining every day. Thank you very much. Thank you, doctor.
All right.
A different perspective.
Yeah. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, everybody is there. I want to talk about this commercial bank. I know Central Bank and Federal Government have seen them. This commercial bank did not fear for diseases. COVID-19 is around. Multiple is around. Rashes, tuberculosis, all these diseases are around. We have 100 naira note, 50 naira note. They should have loaded this in the ATM machine. If people get 30,000, 40,000 every day, it will ease the tension. People that cluster on the commercial bank will reduce. They don't care for their life. Commercial banks, I'm very sorry, they are part of the problem we are having now. EFCC should please, and DSS should please arrest many people as they are arresting. They should load 100 naira and 50 naira to ATM. People will die, will go and pick money. Have a nice time.
All right. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, 0705 5949 0809 7949 to share your thoughts on the show. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Gbolabo from Mofala.
Please go on.
Hello?
We can hear you.
I want to, yeah. You see, people that are agitating for what they are doing, they are saying that they are doing Aswaji this, they are doing Aswaji the other one. In fact, it's good for him because when we are in trouble here in the south, we will run to north go and donate money, billions upon thousands. When we are in trouble in south. And this is a great lesson for we the southerners because we don't want to coordinate ourselves, but we will run to the north. By the time they will now show us their red eye, we are now crying and shouting for nothing. That is it.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
John, doctor, good morning.
Good morning.
Where is our petroleum minister? We have forget about the fuel scarcity. We only concentrate on naira scarcity. What a nation.
All right. Well, if you don't have money,
That's rhetorical.
If you don't have money,
Yes.
how would you get fuel?
Yes, so money is essential. Money, at least the currency, whatever it is. So chicken before the egg or egg before the chicken.
Let's take Facebook a little bit. Boluwatefe Ademuwagun says, good morning. It's no more news that the new CBN policy is inflicting pain on the masses, especially businesses. The ups and downs attached to the new policy has clearly indicated that adequate measures were not taken by the CBN government and the centre government before introducing such policy. I'm still looking forward to how the motive towards the redesigning of new Naira notes will be achieved.
All right, This is from Raji Afiz Abidemi says, good morning, Adenike and Gbolabo. Still on the new Naira note, honestly, POS operators have been taking advantage of scarcity of cash to business. I wanted to collect 5,000 Naira yesterday. The young lady said I should pay 1,000 Naira. We're using money to buy money. Time will tell.
Time will tell. Hello, good morning.
Outrageous.
Good morning. This is Shola from Wolves.
All right.
Let me ask this question. Is Aswaji the only one contesting as the president? What is target? Someone is riding private jet to campaign, and people are saying he has no money. How come? I can't even go out to even ride Okada. There's no money, and you are saying there is somebody targeting somebody. I don't know. Thank you.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, this is Miriam. I'm calling from Odejai.
All right.
Who should we blame for the scarcity of the new notes? Should we blame the CBN or the commercial banks? And clearly, proper caution was not taken by the CBN governor before coming up with such policy. Because since the new policy is on ground, it has been inflicting more hardship on the masses. So I only implore them and the central government to take proper caution before coming up with another policy, because this one is inflicting hardship on us. Thank you. My name is Miriam.
All right, Miriam. Okay, Babatuni on Facebook says it's unfortunate we're still having building collapse in the country. The professionals involved must be called to order and questioning. All this while, despite so many board of inquiries, nothing has come out of it. This is Nigeria factor. Different building approval with different structure on ground. Hello?
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Adenike from Ibadan here. I want to speak about the issue of petroleum refinery. Hello?
Please go on.
You see, they are always wasting the money on refinery on our refinery in this country. What we need is new refinery. Not the one we have been maintaining every time. You know, it has no part again. The refinery, they can't get
part, spare part for maintaining it anymore because it has already updated. So we are now in a computerizing age. So that's our fault. This one we are using is analog. So it has no part. They have been wasting their money. So we need new refinery for this country. That's all.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Adenike.
Good morning.
Gbolabo, morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just thought of something. Listening to the CBN man that talked yesterday, this is a different view. He actually said they've now given the banks a directive to pay on the counter. Is it not possible that they now, you might say it's semantics, it actually means they gave them a directive not to pay before. It's also possible they asked them not to pay. So they are the ones that actually put us into this hell. For God's sake, how can people be heartless? There is suffering. We have that of light. We have that of the money now. And a lot more. And please, on El-Rufai shouting, I asked this question. I've not seen him in the campaign of Asuwaju. So I don't think he should shout more. He should be careful. He should go and see. He should tell us why he is now trying to be holier than all. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Facebook, one message and then we wrap up. Balkis on order says, good morning. My headache specifically is why the APC presidential candidate is decrying some of the anomalies caused by Buhari now and not all these years. This camouflage is too calculated and Nigerians should not be swayed by it. I can remember what he said during the NSAS protest and his impact as the Chancellor of Lautech. Whichever it is, the failures of Buhari are inseparable from the APC, including the party's standard bearer. And that's the much we can take this morning. Thank you, Prof, for coming. I am Adenike Ademuwagun.
And I'm Gbolabo. Famous school. Bye for now.